He's got a good arm strength, and I thought he was very solid today. Same thing with Goff from Cal. Quick feet, quick release, doesn't have the arm strength that maybe Paxton Lynch does or Wentz has, but you can see everything you want in a quarterback that's ready to play today. That's what Goff is. He's ready to go today. Paxton Lynch looks to me, and I spent a couple hours with him a couple of weeks ago watching tape with him and watching him on the field, and they're rebuilding him or building him from the ground up. He's never been under center in his life. He's got a lot that he's got to learn. He's working hard at it, and when he gets his footwork lined up the correct way, that arm strength is elite. It's really cool. But he's going to have to, that's a work in progress. I still think he's a potential, I think he's a first-round pick, but he's a little bit of a project. He's a year or two away. The kid from Michigan State, Cook, I thought he was good. I saw good arm strength. I didn't see elite arm strength. I've done a lot of work on him. I have never met him. I'd love to meet the kid and try to figure him out a little bit also. And beyond that, I just thought there were, as I said in the press conference the other day, I think there's 5 to 7 kind of mid-round guys who all are trying to show teams that they can be the next Kirk Cousins.
Mike.
I could care less. I didn't expect it. I mean, there was a lot of buzz about him running 4.35 or whatever, and 4.5 is fine with me. He's going to be a slot receiver and a punt return guy. What you see with him is he's really raw. We were all excited at the Senior Bowl. He doesn't know how to run routes yet, even though he's further along than most converted quarterbacks. He's going to get return production as a punt return guy, and he's going to have to learn how to play slot at a higher level than he does today. 4.5 is plenty fast because he's so quick, so competitive, and so athletic. It didn't change my opinion of him at all. Wentz is interesting because I'd love to see him sit for a year. So if I'm Dallas at number 4, I'm sitting there kind of licking my lips because I got a 36-year-old quarterback that hasn't finished a season in 3 years, and you're probably not going to be at 4 again very soon, at least hope not if you're Dallas, right? So you got an opportunity to kind of draft for the future. So I would much prefer looking at a guy that maybe I could groom for a year and play. I think that's the ideal situation for him. Now, if he had to go in and play this year, do I think he could take his lumps and do that? Yeah, but I think the healthiest situation for that kid in a franchise is to give him a year behind an established starter, even in Cleveland. Let him go, if Cleveland took him, go to Cleveland, spend a year learning the system, learning what you're doing, and a year from now you're the guy. I think that's healthy.
What is the difference between him and Goff in that regard? Why do you see Goff being more ready than Wentz?
Look, Wentz is, the advantage Wentz has is he's been under center, okay? He's done a lot of the protections. He's been under center. You could see his footwork. It was good. The difference is he's played 23 games and he's done it at a lower level. And I didn't see the same pocket awareness. When I watch Goff, I see a guy sliding, moving around the pocket, going from one side of the field to the other, making every throw. And I don't think Wentz is at that point yet as far as being quickly able to do that. And I think he needs a lot more reps. This is not the same receiver class we saw the last couple of years. You saw that today. Nowhere near as explosive. Treadwell didn't run, but Treadwell's not going to run fast anyway. He didn't jump well today. He jumped below average, and I expected that. So Treadwell is, to me, a kind of bottom half of the first-round person. Corey Coleman didn't run. I think Coleman and Fuller are two that people are going to talk about at a certain point. Whether or not it's first round is hard to say, but 4.31 or 4.32, whatever he ran, and he caught the ball better than I expected him to catch it. Well, I still think he's a 2. That's where I have him.
That's Fuller.
Fuller. I still think Fuller is a 2. I think Coleman, some people have him late 1. I have trouble seeing more than 1 or 2 wideouts in the first round. Because to me that's what matters. I always say fast guys run fast, slow guys run slow, and it's only a story when the opposite happens. What was surprising to me was the wide receiver class as a whole, how slow they were. There were, Hollywood Higgins runs 4.6. There were a bunch of 4.6s and 4.59s and 4.7s, and there were a lot more wide receivers ran slow than I thought they would today. I have them as a wild card along with Hackenberg. I have no idea where either of them are going. And I've said it 100 times, and for me, both of them, they're big, good-looking kids that throw a beautiful football with a lot of bad tape. So where do you take them? So I don't think there's a draft status for either of them right now. I think the whole rest of the NFL is doing what I'm doing, which is trying to figure the kid out. And if you believe in the kid and then you can fix the mechanics and get him to a certain level, you take him higher, right? But I think we're all going through that discovery phase right now. His pro day becomes a big day for him in Columbus in a couple of weeks. Tunsil was as advertised. It was poetry in motion as far as a left tackle, great feet. I think his movement skills are even better than I thought they were, and I thought they were really exceptional. I thought the Spriggs kid from Indiana was outstanding, both with the measurables and his field workout. He's got some things he's got to clean up from a technique perspective, but I could just hear, I could channel a bunch of offensive line coaches around the league going, I want to work with that guy. I thought they were really good. The Stanford guard, Garnett, I like him a lot, and you get him in the second or third round. I think you've got a starting right guard or left guard immediately. Westerman is another guard I like in those mid-rounds. I think he's going to be a starting guard quickly. I was disappointed that Whitehair had 16 reps. You know, I think he's a starting guard, and to come out there and have 16 reps at 2 1/4, that one I struggled with. If there's anything I've seen in the last 10 or 15 years, it's that no matter how much we tighten up the personal conduct policy, the more talent you have, the more chances you get. You know, and that's just the way it is, unfortunately, in all pro sports. I wish we had a way where we could reward the good character kids at a higher level more quickly. Unfortunately, those kids get less opportunities, and they have to do their jobs more quickly and efficiently than the other guys that have more talent. So I spent half my time here talking about Kemdici and Spence and all the guys that have had problems. I love talking about the Dak Prescotts of the world, but he is what he is. You know, he's basically one of those middle round quarterbacks. There are teams that are going to want to work with him. He's got height, weight, he's got some arm strength. What he did in the state of Mississippi to galvanize that team in that state, I thought was special. And what happens with those kind of guys is a quarterback coach or two will fall in love with the kid. Okay, it's not going to make him a first rounder because he's a great character kid, but a coach will fall in love with him and they'll draft him.